The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus said to the crowds, "This is how it is with the kingdom of God. It is as if a man were to scatter seed on the land and would sleep and rise night and day, and the seed would sprout and grow. He knows not how. Of its own accord, the land yields fruit, first the blade, then the ear, then the full grain in the ear. And when the grain is ripe, he wields the sickle at once, for the harvest has come." He said, "To what shall we compare the kingdom of God? Or what parable can we use for it? It is like a mustard seed that when it is sown in the ground is the smallest of all the seeds on the earth. But once it is sown, it springs up and becomes the largest of plants, and puts forth large branches, so that the birds of the sky can dwell in its shade." With many such parables he spoke the word to them, and they were able to understand it. Without parables he did not speak to them, but to his own disciples he explained everything in private. The Gospel of the Lord. In our reading from the letter to the Hebrews, we hear that while there can be great persecution, great difficulties, many challenges, we have nothing to fear. And I love the final words of this reading, that in front of all of these challenges, in front of the difficulties, we're not among those who draw back and perish, but among those who have faith and will possess life. This connection between having faith and possessing life is so incredibly important in terms of understanding this dynamic, that this possibility rather that we have to be able to confront the challenges that we face. It comes from faith. It comes from having faith. And it comes from the object of our faith, which is Jesus Christ himself, who tells us that he is the way, the truth, and the life. And so we know that the life that we possess is not our own. The life that we possess through faith is Jesus Christ himself, who helps us to confront any circumstance, any challenge, any difficulty, who helps us to be able to live, to be able to have fullness of life. And the good news that we hear in the gospel today is that it's not as if we have to have some great faith, that we have to have all of the faith. But instead, so long as we have faith the size of a mustard seed, we just have a small amount of faith, Christ can work. Jesus Christ can give us life. Because he's the one, in the end, who makes the fruit grow. He's the one who's at work in our lives. I think oftentimes we feel as if we have to be the protagonist, that we're the one making things happen. And the problem with that is that when things go wrong or when things are difficult, then we take that upon ourselves as well. We experience that burden, we carry that burden with us. But Jesus Christ wants to carry our burden. He wants to be the one who works in our lives. He wants to be the one who gives us life, because he's completely in control. And so long as we have faith, so long as we open up our hearts to that work that he's doing and cling to him, even if it's a small amount of faith, the Lord will work. The Lord will give us life. He'll give us fullness of life. And so I have great hope for myself and for all of you, as we gather around the altar today, that the Lord desires to give each and every one of us life, desires to help us to live, to experience Him, to cling to Him in the work that He's doing, even in the midst of the challenges. Because He wants us to live. He wants us to possess life. He wants us to possess Himself. So what better sign of that than by receiving Him today in the Eucharist? By truly possessing Him in a very real and concrete way, by receiving Him and allowing Him to work on our hearts. Even if today we come to Him with little faith, so long as we have faith the size of a mustard seed, we know that He's at work, and we know that He wants to give us life. So today, as we approach the altar and receive Him in the Eucharist, let us allow Him to work on our hearts. Let us allow Him to be that force that bears fruits in our life. Let us turn our lives over to Him so that in giving up our life, we may truly possess it, possess life itself, possess Jesus Christ.